Welcome back to What You Missed,
a video game news show where I detail and discuss articles pertaining to video game news that might be interesting and important to you and the video game industry at large.
Yes, thank you for that intro, Grandmaster Gamer. I really appreciate you hosting the intro segments to What You Missed News, and I'm quite sure my fans will appreciate the shift and change in how we're doing the intros now. But, as they say, the show must go on, so let's jump right into the news. I have a lot of news stories to discuss, so the first one is going to be discussing and detailing, should video game addiction be recognized as a mental illness? Now, I have a full audio edited, ready to go and be edited and talking about this in a separate video, so I'm only going to touch on this lightly. But basically, there's a corroboration of a large amount of council members that represent the official things for insurance representation, drug and information facts regarding this stuff. This is real medical organizations doing this. I'm being very generalistic here, and you can read up on this article by taking a link in the description below, but basically what they're saying is that it's internet video games. Now, again, I know as soon as you read this article, you're going to instantly be like, well, man, these people really don't know what they're talking about because they keep saying and using the words internet video games. But later on, they clarify that it's MMORPGs that they're specifically targeting. But I think as all gamers, we realize that an MMORPG is not the same thing as a racing game. And yes, while every game can be addictive in some way, shape, and form, remember Skyrim when it was first released? Remember World of Warcraft and how addicted people were to that? Yeah, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that when you're very generalistic here, it's not providing the proper care or needs to someone. And the argument that's made in this article is that how can you take serious addiction to substances and substance abuse and apply it to video games? It's really a big slap in the face to the family members and those who struggle with substance abuse and real addiction. And I completely agree with those sentiments and statements. You can't just copy and paste. It's not a cookie cutter explanation. And in the guidelines that are outlined here, the Internet Gaming Disorder Guidelines and Proposed Criteria, it's pretty ridiculous. So if you have time, please read over this and take a look at this ridiculous article, because I think you'll agree that while some people can be addicted to video games, I don't think it really is to this point at all. I think this is a really extreme that's being blanketed and put towards almost all gamers, which is pretty ridiculous at the end of the day. So moving on, we have something a little bit more brighter and happier, and that's, hey boys, here we go. Microsoft's plan and Phil Spencer on the Xbox One X pre-orders. Now, this story doesn't have much going for it. I mean, it's really a small story, which is pretty ridiculous, but it's important at the same time. So they said, quote, "Our plan is set for this." And that was Spencer on Twitter when they were asked and requested, will this console be available for pre-order? So now just landing the announce with all the info. It won't be much longer. That sentence structure really threw me off there. I'm sorry, it was tough for me to read that. Basically what they're saying is that they're going to announce the details on when you can pre-order the Xbox One X, which means you might be waiting up to 1 year, or they might be releasing it a little bit sooner or later. But Microsoft is a company, a big company that is set in its ways, so if they put out a date, I'm quite sure that's going to be the date that it is going to come out, especially with a video game console. I can't see the Xbox One X not being released on the date that they want it to come out. Now, Sony hasn't published any plans about competing with the Xbox One X. They have the PlayStation 4 Pro in place right now, but that's clearly not going to be enough to go up against the world's most powerful console. And yes, I just said that. Keep in mind that that statement changes every couple years, because at one point in time, the Dreamcast was the world's most powerful console, and the Atari Jaguar was the world's most powerful console. So let's get off the high horse here, Microsoft, and let's be real for a second. The Xbox One X might be a console, but it's still basically dwarfed by any modern mid-range PC. I understand that a lot of people will not be able to game at 4K on mid-range PCs, but at the same time, consoles do come with restrictions and limitations that a lot of PC players do not have to adhere to. So there are definite massive trade-offs when buying consoles like this. $499 could get you a pretty nice gaming PC, and that's about all I have to say about this. Moving moving on to the next story. Now, this is one I want to take particular care and attention to. I know that just because I dropped the name Verlisify right now, I'm probably going to get dislikes on this video, either from supporters or people who just absolutely hate him. And I try to be different. I try to be nice to a lot of people. And I understand that most of the community views Verlisify in a way to where he hasn't owned up to things that he's done wrong, and that's how the community views him. So I'm gonna stay pretty neutral here, but basically it's gotten to a point where a Poketuber, Shofu, made a rap diss track against Verlisify. Now you might be saying to me, well, Proto, what are you doing covering this news story? What's wrong with you, Proto? Or like, come on, man, this is just YouTube beef. You're not scarce with that double upload. Yes, I know I'm not, okay, I get that. But the thing is, Kotaku covered this news story. I'm dead serious. There's an article written about Shofu dropping a diss track on Verlisify. This is what I'm talking about, man. This is crazy stuff, okay? You can do what you want. You whatever your channel's about. No hate against Shofu. No hate against anyone else who does whatever they do on YouTube, okay? Their channels will reflect whether or not they're doing positive or negative things. A lot of people know this stuff. I believe in letting the free market doing what it's going to do. So if Shofu is doing things that the community doesn't like, they will clearly dislike his videos. But then again, you know, it applies to everyone. So at the end of the day, it's just surprising to me that this got picked up on by Kotaku. Kotaku is covering a story about a diss track of someone dissing a Poketuber. This is 2017. This is real. I can't believe this. I don't know what else to say about it. It's pretty crazy. You can go read the article. You can go check out both of the videos. They're out there for you. And that's all I have to say about that. It's just nuts to see this happening. The final story I have to cover is that, once again, Pokemon Go Fest, NIANTIC, Neon Cat Tech, nailed it, right there, got it. Neon Cat Tech has reportedly been horrified by the problems. Is that an understatement, Neon Cat Tech? Because I think it's even worse than horrified. I think your company's reputation has been tarnished to the point where it can't even be repaired. Because the next time someone thinks that they should go to a festival hosted by you guys, that they're going to run into the same problems that happened in Chicago. And if I am correct in thinking what I'm thinking, I'm pretty sure there's another festival happening in the UK coming up here shortly. So what's to stop those people from not getting into the festival or not being able to connect? Do you have guarantees that you're going to fix the problems that were caused in Pokemon Go Fest, or are you just going to issue refunds again? So let's jump into the story, basically. Quote, obviously they can't completely make it up to all of the people who have come out to Chicago today, but they want to extend the fact that they're extremely apologetic and unhappy with the process and the results. So hopefully this is something that we will never see replicated again, and learn from this and move on. Just know that the staff here is pretty horrified by the results, so they want to make good as fast as possible. Well, no doubt they want to make good. Look, a lot of people think I crap on Pokemon Go because I just don't like it, or I'm just not good at the game, or I'm just making fun of a game that people like. And I understand that attitude because a lot of people sit here and talk smack about Pokemon Go. I play Pokemon Go. I play it. I don't play it religiously. I'm not a hardcore Pokemon Go player. That's just not my thing. But I do play it. The thing is, though, I'm going to point out problems, mistakes, criticisms against the company because in an effort, hopefully the company will change these things and become better. People do not sit here and raise questions and problems against issues with video games because they hate the video games. No, they do it because they want to see those things change because they like the video game and they want to be able to tolerate playing that video game. The same thing can be said for Pokemon Go and NIANTIC with how they handle things. If they knew this stuff was going to happen, if they knew they were going to have this many players, if they knew they were having issues with spoofing and things like this, you could make the argument that perhaps they should have been more prepared for the event. You might say, well, they didn't know this was going to happen, and there's arguments to be made there. Fine. There's excuses and arguments to be made about everything. No one intentionally goes into an event thinking that it's going to be horrible and trying to organize it into a way that it's going to be bad or turn out bad. Don't get me wrong, but I am saying that eventually you're going to have to hold the company that's hosting the event that goes awry responsible for why it went awry. It's their company, it's their event, it's their game. And I don't hold the creator single-handedly responsible for the problems happening with Pokemon Go. But at the same time, when you have a massive development team and the support of big companies like Nintendo, which I'm very sure they have the support support of. I'm surprised that events like this are going very, very poorly and badly. And if they don't have the support of Nintendo, at the very least, they have the support of the Pokemon Company. Like, come on, man. This stuff isn't new stuff. Now, I'm not crapping on the game. Again, if you like it, you like it. Play it. Don't feel bad about what I'm saying. I'm not saying it's a bad game and not to play it. I'm just saying that these problems that keep cropping up over and over and over again, they just don't seem to be getting fixed quick enough or properly enough to draw the fan base back to what it once was over a year ago. That's all I'm saying. That's all I have to say about that. Ladies and gentlemen, if you like this news story and these news stories that I covered today and what you miss gaming, please let me know. I'm gonna go ahead and hand it over to the Grandmaster Gamer. He's gonna go ahead and sign us out. As for me, I've been your host, Protomario. Once again, as always, if you like this video, please like and share it with everyone you know. It really helps out. And yeah, as always, good gaming, God bless, and thanks for watching. Take us away, Grandmaster Gamer.
Now, some of you might be wondering who I am. Well, that's simple to answer. I'm the Grandmaster Gamer. Do you see? I'm not Protomario. Now, some people have made the radical claims that we sound similar. Just because I sound like him doesn't mean I am him. Hello, look. You see? I got the hair and the beard. Protomario's like 30 years old. I'm like 80 here. Basically, Protomario approached me and said, I'm really needing a new host for the show. Cause I don't know, cause he said YouTube wasn't going that good for him or something. He's always moaning and whining about views and uniting the video game community or something. I don't listen to him a lot of the time. He said, look, you know, I'll make you famous. You just become the face of what you miss news, and you'll get rich, he said. So I'm waiting for Hollywood to give me a call, okay? Maybe I'll be in Game of Thrones, you never know. So yeah, I'm gonna be the next What You Missed News host, and I'm sure you guys won't be seeing my face all the time, but when you do, I know it's hard to resist kissing the screen, but I assure you, you probably shouldn't be kissing the screen when you see my face. Just ask me and I'll mail you some of my headshots as well. So I hope that clarifies everything. If it doesn't, well, then you're clearly not a wizard, because I'm a wizard. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Hope that helped you out.